2, 1, and we should be live. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. We are back. Third stream of the week. Hopefully my microphone is better today. Let me know in chat. We made some adjustments. There's no dog here whining at us today too, so it should all be good. But we are back for our third stream. Today we have Victor Korchuk, one of our illustrators here at Unfold, and we're going to be working on some more custom Dronies that we are adding to the collection. And these were Dronies that you as the community recommended and wanted to see in the collection. And we're going to be back again tomorrow with another. So let's do some quick introductions here on the stream. So we'll kind of round robin. My name's Peter. I'm one of the partners at Unfold and co-founders of Dronies, and I'm just having a blast working with everybody on this. And I will pass it off first to Moss.
Hello, everyone. I'm Moss. I'm the community manager here. You see me pretty frequently in Discord. Yeah. Hi.
All right. And then why don't we go to Dave and we'll finish up with Vic.
All right, awesome. My name's David. I go by Dave because there's multiple Davids on our team. I had to legally change my name to Dave. Yeah, I'm a project director over Dronies, just making sure everything goes smooth and stays in one direction, and just keeping everybody on track. And I'll pass it off to Victor.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Yeah, I'm Victor. I'm one of the illustrators for Unfold and as well as for Dronies. So yeah, we've just been having a blast with the team, kind of creating these silly, fun characters, and yeah, it's been a good time. And so super excited to kind of show you guys my personal process on how I would go about making a one-on-one Dronie. So I mean, do you want me to just get started, Peter? Is that
Yeah, we'll do a quick, let's give everybody a little introduction into what Dronies is and a little bit of the story if you haven't yet tuned in. And then we'll get started. And Vic, just keep in mind as you bounce around in that file what is and isn't yet public. Well, we still want surprises. So, if you were just joining us, Dronies is an NFT collection that is going to be launching on Solana. And so we're really, really excited about this project. We've been working on it for about the past 5 months now, and it's just really cool to see it come to life. And we're excited that you're all excited because it's been a labor of love, and it's a big moral and spiritual boost when we see the kind things that everybody's saying about the project, and seeing that hype, it just makes us really happy and that you're enjoying it. So that's super important. The Dronies story is really massive, and we're actually building more of a universe, I would say, than it's definitely not just a singular NFT project by any means. We've got a very expansive storyline, something that is going to continue on beyond this initial drop. It's actually just kind of kicking off the story here. And what we know so far, and you can catch up in the dossier channel in Discord, is a great way to see the different characters and interacting. And it's almost like watching a live theater in front of you. These characters are conversing back and forth, and it feels like you're following along this journey with them. So it's really fun. But to give you the short version here, one of our characters, Stuart, starts to notice some odd activity in the birds around him, and quickly realizes that these are drones. They're not real birds, and that someone, something, some group is slowly replacing the Earth's population of birds and is replacing them with these drones. And so what we need to discover together as a community is, what is the purpose of these drones? Where is the signal going to? Who is behind this? And a lot more that we're going to unpack. And there's just a lot of fun intentionality in this collection. There's breadcrumbs everywhere that we want the community to discover and engage with. And even just the order in which you may or may not discover those actually has an impact in the storyline and what kind of gets released first and where some directions go. So it's really fun. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record on all these streams saying kind of the same thing, but it's like a TV series, and season 1 is coming out, but season 2, 3, and 4 is written and in the works. And so we're just really excited to take you all on this journey, have some fun, have this be a little bit of an escape from all the craziness in the world right now, and something that we can come together and enjoy. And we're really excited about it. So without further ado, we'll have Vic jump in and show us a little bit of the process. And along the way, if you've got questions, drop them in the YouTube chat or in Discord. We're going to try to keep an eye on both of those, and we'll try to answer some questions along the way so Vic can be heads down and focusing on some of the work as well. But let me pass it over to make sure I've got you followed in my Figma too. One sec. All right, great. And there we go. All right, so we've got you.
Cool. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I switched to crisp. That way the office ambiance is not coming through the microphone. So just let me know if anything sounds like duty, and I'll switch up the settings, or I'll get Peter to do that. Cool. Yeah, so today we're going to be doing this Ted Lasso sketch, calling him Ted Drono, that you guys saw Eddie kind of sketch out a couple days ago. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there for Courtney's stream for most of the time. So my process might be a little bit different than hers. And that's pretty cool for you guys to see how, even though all of our processes are a little bit different from each other, it still leads to the same awesome result. So what I'm going to start off here is with a 600 by 600 artboard. That's kind of what we've, when creating all the assets and all of the custom one-on-ones, we kind of use this 600 by 600 template. And I like to use this kind of overall Dronie template that we kind of created over the process of making these Dronies. So this will help me kind of place everything, or at least the main Dronie structure, in the same place as the rest of the 10,000 that we have. That way it feels cohesive and it feels like it's part of the same collection. So
and also, because everything is vector, like 600 by 600 is a good size for us to work at and whatnot.
Yeah.
But we can scale all of these things indefinitely because vector, it's basically mathematics. And so all of this can scale infinitely without any pixelation or whatnot. So it helps us keep the file size down. This file as is chugs pretty hard. I think, what did we say? There was over like 500,000 layers or something in here. And so it keeps it a little bit more manageable. But then when we export this out, everybody's going to be receiving much higher resolution images when we put them out in the collection.
Yeah, what Peter said. Cool. So what I'm doing now, and like I said, this is what I personally like to do, is I like to work off of the sketch, not so much as like a say all or like end all be all or whatever. I just like to have it overlaid here. That way I can kind of, get the similar kind of shapes and stuff like that as a sketch. So what I'm going to do is just overlay this here at an opacity. I'm going to try and line up this sketch on our template. That way, once I do start vectorizing, everything is said and done. And what I'm going to do is make that a little bit less and just lock that layer so that way I can make stuff on here. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and start making some of the main structures. So yeah, what I'm doing here first is the head, since it's furthest in the background. And what I'm doing as well is I'm kind of following that same curve of the template. That way, like I said, everything is cohesive. Yeah, like I said, I like to use the sketch, but it's not like the final thing that I kind of work off of. Yeah, I don't know how. I'm just gonna talk in depth because I'm just shutting off my brain and saying everything I'm thinking and doing. So yeah, we don't like to. We decided that in this scale, we work with 1 pixel strokes for all of the strokes for all the fills. So that's what I'm doing here, using 1 pixel stroke. And as you can see as well, I'm not kind of like the stuff that I know that's going to be exposed, like this stroke, I'm like really focusing on that, making it a nice curve. But like, for example, like this little corner right here, it's going to be covered by the beak. So I don't really care to kind of perfect that since it's going to be hidden. So like this stroke as well is going to be seen, this one, and then this one I'm going to work on a little bit. But yeah, just going to keep at it and kind of refine the head a little bit. Yeah, like the way I like to work is I like to first set up all of like the kind of base structures, and I just do it in grayscale. And I'll do the color later, utilizing that rounded corners to kind of get everything looking a little bit smoother and more refined. Yeah, I guess I'll get started on the beak, the part that I'm dreading. So I still want to make this look beak-like. I know Eddie kind of made it seem a little bit like a nose, so I got to find a way to be able to find a good blend of like kind of representing this human being that is Ted Lasso, but making it look bird-like. Yeah. And what I like to do a lot is I really like to use rounded corners. So I kind of start off with this simple shape, and I start rounding the corners. That way I don't have to mess around with like anchor points and stuff like that. I just have Figma do it for me and it looks fantastic. So just messing around with that temporarily for now. And yeah, and I keep peeking on over to the reference sketch and this reference right here. So I'm gonna kind of pop this out a little bit more, make it a little bit more squared off to give it more of a three-dimensional look, and that's really going to stand out when I add this line right here. So try and have it follow the same thing. And yeah, this is kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of scary like showing how I do things, because sometimes some of the things I do are kind of dirty a little bit. Like what I'm doing right now is, yeah, I'm gonna remove this stroke, you'll see in a second. But here, let me turn off snap to pixel grid. That's disgusting. There we go. I kind of use the stroke of the beak to hide this fill. And I'll show you what I mean in a second right here. Boom. Let me just round that to match the other side. I might need to lift that up a little bit as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, Control-C, Control-V, put it above that like highlight layer here. And look, now this highlight right here is hidden in behind the stroke. So it kind of gives it a smoother look. I know I could probably use some subtracts or this or that, but this is a lot easier. And it's just the way I like to do it. So yeah, I'm going to fill in this one in the background as well. And like I said, I just like to do like use grayscale and everything. What I'm going to do here is might taper that corner off a little bit. So,
and Vic, we're getting compliments at how good you are at somehow managing to both work and perfectly explain everything that you're doing at the same time.
Like I said, man, my brain is just completely shut off right now. It's just, yeah, I'm just saying like literally what my mind is thinking when I'm making this. Cool. So I think later on when I start to mess with like the gradients and stuff like that, I might taper this out a little bit so it doesn't look super like like a extruded triangle. That way it might have a little bit more of a rounded look to it. But yeah, I'll think about that when I get to it. So now we need to have like a little bird nostril. So I think I might kind of make it
a lot of that
same
stuff too is also the shading as you get into that you can kind of like
yeah.
create an illusion that something is angled or shaded a certain way. So we saw that a lot with what Courtney was doing yesterday, how much just adding a little bit of lighting adjustment and whatnot like drastically changes what it is that we're building.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, no, the ticket, the final topping on the cake or the cherry on top is really the shading and the colors and the gradients and stuff like that. That's really gonna help these stand out and make them look like a Dronie. So yeah, like I said, I like to start off with the simple shapes and then I go in with the pen curving tool and I just start to give it a little bit of rounding, even though this guy like it's supposed to be a little bit like more robotic. Like I don't know what this mustache is, like some kind of like robotic metal piece, but kind of want to give it a little bit of rounding and tapering, and that just involves kind of messing around with those anchor points a little bit.
Well, and this
So
is
to
where
fill
it's
this.
fun to see you outline the process, because I think, and just kind of speaking maybe to designers that, you know, you've got that like imposter syndrome, or you see the finished result. And because when you look at this at the end, you're going to be like, how the heck do I do that? And, you know, the thing that we want to stress and give people confidence in is that you're going to see Vic try a lot of things here that don't work, and he's got to change it up, or just kind of getting an outline going and starting to slowly make progress with each of these things. That's what's going to get you over the finish line. And I know it can be really, really daunting to get in there and, you know, feel like going from 0 to 60, but, you know, stay patient. And I always love getting to do streams like this where we get to show process, because in my opinion, I think it makes it more like, oh, okay, now that I see how that's been done, like I can go apply that to my own work and help benefit in some other ways. So it's always fun getting to see this and see how different people operate. And, you know, you're always going to learn different tips and tricks from different individuals. So check out these streams. We do a lot of stuff with Adobe Live as well. They do some fantastic streams for like Adobe XD, Adobe Illustrator, and more. Especially if you're just starting out, I highly recommend you go check that stuff out and learn and observe.
Yeah. Some of the question was like, why not? Why aren't we using Illustrator? Why is Figma our tool? Especially considering Peter over here is a big streamer for Adobe products.
I love both tools. I love both tools. And I always say it's just a nail that puts a hammer, or a hammer that puts a nail into a board. You can design in anything, but there's different, you know, advantages that we like for a lot of reasons in Figma. And I know we've got Josh Dunsterville in here, who's one of the community managers over at Figma. So hi, Josh. We love you guys.
Oh, what's up? Yeah, send us some swag. Send me some swag. I want to post on Twitter, you know, like all the other cool kids, my cool Figma socks, you know.
But yeah, to broadly answer the question about like why Figma is because Figma allows us to, first of all, you see right now Vic sketching, but like I can join in and leave comments and say this mustache doesn't look that right, and he can change it on the same spot. Or Courtney and Bo, they can just join in and all of us just jam and create the same graphic at the same time, like basically a real life multiplayer illustration tool. There's nothing out there quite like it. And as well as there's a component system that we use heavily to create basically the entire generation of all of our Dronies, all the 10,000 collections. We have a specific document that has every single trade and every single variation in there. And all of it just kind of works, and it works in a way that's just like insane somehow. We have like almost 1 gigabyte files in here, and they still work and still playable. We can all go in and do the work, do the job. There's little thought comes to mind, or there's little effort that we need to do to make it work. We don't need to create plugins. We don't need to work with,
Just to show,
everything's
like,
out there.
if I wanted to come in with Vic and start, I'm gonna undo this. Don't worry. But
No,
like
you're good.
this allows us. You'll see us in projects where we kind of just all group up, and there might be 3, 4, 5 of us. Sometimes there's 20 of us, and we just all start getting ideas out. And, you know, maybe one person's focusing on the wing while someone else is doing the nose and the ears up here. Like, and then we just hang out on calls like this all day and work together on this stuff. It's really fun. So from a company culture standpoint, it keeps us really close. It's really tight. A lot of people have picked up and mentioned it on the streams. We're all friends. We all like each other. We all play games after work. We all chat and hang out on the weekends and stuff. Like, and a lot of that is that we are a really close team because we spend a lot of time together, and we work very closely like this. It's not just I have my assigned project and I turn in my assignment. Like, we work really closely together with everyone. So a lot of fun, and Figma and live collaboration really makes that possible. And it's really, really cool to work that way.
Yeah. And Mina asks us if the final output is going to be an SVG or PNG or raster image. And it's both, honestly. We can export SVGs, we can export PNGs. The final image for Dronies PFPs that we're going to be uploading are going to be PNGs in a very high resolution scale. we're gonna optimize them maybe a little bit so they're not taking your bandwidth while you browse them on Magic Eden or something. But they're still gonna be super crisp, and we have the vector images. So it's not planned for release, but later down the road, we're going to be regenerating everything as SVG, so you guys have like full access to the actual source, basically material of the of Dronies.
Yeah.
So
and we've seen some communities do some really fun stuff with that. Like Grim Syndicate did that, and I'm going to mention them on pretty much all of our streams, just because they do a lot of things right and they're an awesome team. So definitely go follow their project. But yeah, they've done some cool things, and it's allowed for some really fun art contests and just people like really customizing their Grims to fit their personalities and things like that. Make little subtle tweaks. So that stuff's really fun.
Cool. Yo, Peter, you mind if I is it my screen that's being shared on the stream?
But if
I
give
want
me a second, I can.
Yeah, I just want to go grab a couple things. So
grab a
I guess
couple
I'll
things
explain to
and we'll
the
just chat.
audience. So pretty much, I'm gonna go and grab some already pre-made assets, probably the wings. That way I don't have to sit there and like this character is fairly simple, and he's kind of being covered by clothing. So I'm just gonna grab one of our pre-made wings that we already have from the collection, kind of throw it into here, save a little bit of time. And like I said, it's not anything like crucial that's going to change Ted Lasso if he has a wing that's part of the collection. So just let me know when I can come out of this file and go to our secret place.
Definitely. All right. Well, while you're doing that, let's go through.
Yeah, let's do some more
couple of questions.
Pablo Pernia is asking, what do you expect the Dronie to be useful for?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing roadmap, utility, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to kind of combine this with another question that we had, and that was, what role is Solana Labs playing in this project? Because we are working with them. So we have access to that team and are working with them in some marketing aspects. They've been able to consult with us in the development of the project and everything. And a big part of that, and one of the biggest important ones from the utility standpoint, is working with their legal team. And so there's a lot of things that we are working on and looking into to see what we can and can't do. And I'm just going to link probably to some past stuff that we've said too, but there's a lot of issues with potential concerns of NFTs and being considered securities, which pose a whole lot of like legal and financial, compliance and things like that. And they're heavily advising staying away from all that stuff. I won't say which project, but I will say it's one of the blue chip projects on Solana right now. We just had a conversation with them, and there's some interesting ideas that they're pursuing that might fall into the safer range of that. And, their approach is the same. It's like, hey, we can look into adding a lot of those mechanics of, I think what a lot of people are hoping to hear is utilities of like, hey, we get a holder royalty, or, that it's going to stake a token or something like that. And there's a lot of concern about that with projects. A lot of exchanges will not list your project if you use any of those mechanics for that exact reason, because they don't want to deal with any of the legal or financial compliance issues and unknown concerns of that. So in that regard, our answer is we're here to run a really clean project. We are open to those types of things down the road, but until we know a way that we can do that safely, we're going to avoid it and keep it on the back burner until that may change. What we are looking to do for holders is there's definitely going to be access to a lot of community airdrops and things like that as we're working with other projects. This is going to be the first of a series. And so, there will be advantages to if you hold a Dronie or perhaps a certain number of Dronies and things along those lines. And then, the other is that we're looking for this project and this release to essentially fund the continuation of this IP and to build things out. So, with that, we're looking into and already working on concept art and ideas of how this could work as, space in the metaverse. Could we build out an AR or VR game? Could this become, and something that we pitch as a TV series, is it a card game, a board game, a mobile app game? We've actually already been working on something. So what I would say to that, our biggest and best answer is going to be, the team behind this Unfold. We're a design agency. There's very little that we can't do from a talent and capability standpoint. And we're going to see what the community wants. We don't want to announce right now that we're going to do a card game if everyone's like, a card game's stupid and I want to do a video game. Okay, well then let's focus on that. So we're going to continue to work on some ideas and spitball some things and then work on that with our community to figure out what we want to build out there. We've also got some tools and utilities for both the design community and the NFT community that we use internally and have found really helpful on our projects. Things like generative tests, DNP. I'm going to call it like database, like visual databases. We've been working with Solana on working on a new fair launch protocol process and just open sourcing that and having it be out there for the community for other projects to use on their launches and whatnot. So that's a lot of what we're doing. And again, we agree they're really cool mechanics, but until we know that it's safe to pursue that, we've seen too many other projects where, it was only a royalty promise or something like that was keeping the project alive. And as soon as it got removed because they were going to get delisted off marketplaces or they just chose to be cautious of that, those projects are either gone or have dropped considerably. And so we don't want to be dependent on that. So again, want to run things clean, have a really solid foundation, and we can always add things later, but it's a lot harder to take them away. So, and then Vic, is it safe to swing back over to you in a sec?
Yes, I'm ready. I collected my stuff that I needed to collect.
All right, we gotcha. Go ahead for a bit, and then we'll answer a couple more projects as well.
Yeah, sorry, I moved my Figma screen around, so I hope that didn't ruin anything in OBS.
No, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, so I'll just kind of go ahead and tell you guys what I did. So cheating is okay. If someone's already done it, why do it again? So there's some things I brought in just to make my life a little bit easier. And like I said, work smart sometimes, it seems like Ted Lasso wears aviator glasses. We already have a set of aviator glasses that we've made for the collection. So I'm just going to reuse those. There's some like air vents that Ed sketched. We have some of those air vents already pre-made. I'm just going to kind of like pick and choose stuff from the collection. And this way it ties this specific one-on-one into the collection by kind of sharing a couple of the same, things that the collection has, so it's still completely unique, but there's a couple things I could use here. So I'm just going to keep going here. So what I did was I grabbed these air vents. I'm going to ungroup this. And we kind of made these in a really cool way. Like with multiply layers, I'll show you. So they, the color matches on pretty much anything you put them over. And I can't get it right for now, but yeah, whatever. You get the point. That was a fail. So I'm just going to angle this the right way, and I'll play with all of this stuff later. And also I kind of brought in the swing because I'm kind of going to use these feathers for this part right here, but also there's some nuts and bolts that I want to yoink. So I'm just going to copy this, detach the instance. Everything is components. Gross. Grab one of those screw. Ooh. Sorry, I'm like digging in here. Yeah, so I'm gonna recycle some of these screws. For this purpose right here. Yeah, cool. I might make those smaller later, but yeah, right now I'm kind of just like setting everything up the way it should be. Let me throw these sunglasses here as well. Wow, would you look at that? Those match almost perfectly. And these are made in an interesting way that they're masked.
Oh yeah, well let's explain that. So you'll notice I mean, you're not going to notice as the community, you're not going to have any idea, but there are some items in the collection where, and actually, here, let me switch over to mine for just a quick second, and I'll show a little bit more detail here. So a couple of things, like you'll notice we've already got the shadow and shading in here so that will apply to whatever layers are underneath. And then I'll switch back. Obviously, we only have half of the glass. Well, why is that? Well, the reason is that there might be certain objects in the collection that we need in this case, what would it be, like the right side of the lens to be maybe on top of a beak or another object, and then the left one would need to sit potentially behind. So by splitting it that way, it allows us to have more control of the layering. If it was just to be a flat, like all, one piece item, it makes it more challenging. And we would have more conflicts with that do not pair list where that item just doesn't work with some others. So, in this one, I think as you just did, like the beak is going to be in front of that other lens. And so that allows us to do a little bit more or have a little bit more control in that process. And then the other shadow can even be on the other side of the lens. So again, a lot of attention to detail in this stuff, and just, it's all in those little things to make sure that we get everything, perfect.
Yeah. So pretty much what Peter had said there. Yeah. So, man, I'm getting a little flustered here. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna bring that beak over this set of glasses. I'm gonna bring this unmasked layer there, and it's kind of gonna give the illusion that the beak is in between the glasses, and I totally grabbed the wrong one, but that's okay.
Yeah, I can switch back for a sec if you want to grab something.
No, you're good. You're good. No, we're good. We're good.
All
We're
right.
fine. We're totally fine. Because like I said, this is a custom one, so I can just detach stuff and fix things without any worries. But kind of that whole like weird masking thing is mostly for generation to help us when we generate things. So, but here I can do whatever I want. Yeah, I'll fix that later. All right, let me lower these glasses a little bit to better, better match with Ed's sketch. And for some reason, these aren't in that frame. So let me grab that beak. Let me put it over the glasses. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do this whole entire time, is to get the beak over the glasses. Yeah, cool. So yeah, like I said, the way I work is I don't know. I hop around. I hop around and like just, I don't know, like I mean, it might sound bad, but like when I get bored of one thing, I switch to another thing. Then when I get bored of that, I switch back. So like, I'm not gonna lie, like the beginning process is very, very scattered and all over the place. That's just because sometimes I just don't feel like finishing that whistle right now, but after I get sick of the hair, I'm gonna want to finish the whistle. So yeah,
it's funny seeing everybody's different process.
Right, which brings me to like the question that we got from Ashraf. How hard is it for the illustrator to stay within the style of the illustration?
Ooh.
So
it all depends on the illustrator. I'm good at copying things. That's how I started. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Like when I started learning design, like I would go in, find like work that I really like. And I'm like, man, I wish I could make that. I'd go in and I'd kind of like try and like recreate this person's work. I would never post it anywhere, obviously. I wouldn't steal it as my own. But what I would do is I would kind of recreate that work just because I really like the style and I want to learn like how did he make that style, and like so that's how I kind of started doing a lot of illustration stuff and learning a lot of illustration stuff, was kind of recreating other people's works. So for me, it's a little bit easier to kind of I guess copy this. What was the question? Kind of like stay on this style or like be cohesive with the style. It's a little bit easier for me because I kind of learned that way. But I don't think it's too hard. You just got to kind of be very detail oriented. Like look at, like, okay, like look over at Courtney's from yesterday's stream, like, oh, okay, cool. She used 1 pixel stroke. And having rules and guidelines set up really helps that. Like we have a color palette that we created early on in the project, and we only use colors from that color palette. We all know that we use a 1-point stroke right here. Like little rules like that, following this grid that we had made, like with these like center lines and everything. I feel like that is kind of helping being able to make sure that everything is cohesive throughout. We have, I think, 3 illustrators, maybe I forget how many we have working on this. I know the Unfold team has 3 dedicated illustrators, but yeah, so I guess like setting up rules and guidelines and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think also just having, real honest feedback and critique, and being able to tell somebody like, hey, I don't feel like that matches. Here's what we can do, and here, let me help you to, know what the lighting source should be, or where, whatever the detail is, and being able to do that and just have a conversation and not be like, you hurt my feelings, and how dare you tell me I should do something differently. Like that stuff's really important. So we're a big, no egos kind of squad.
Yeah, it's a little hard for me, you know what I'm saying? That was a joke. I'm the most humble person I know. You don't even know how humble I am.
Let's see. We've got a couple more questions here. Yeah. So someone asked, how is the Unfold team splitting their work time between Dronies and other clients?
Fantastic question.
Yeah, I mean, we have a team that's dedicated to this project, and we're treating ourselves as the client. And then some folks like Vic is like kind of half dedicated between. Is
like 28 hours a day.
He's dedicated to a particular client, and then the other part of his time he's working on this one. So, yeah, again, we're really serious about this project and continuing on and giving it a good lifespan. And so, like I said, we have a full team, and we're our own client on this project. So we're having a lot of fun, and it's really cool getting to create for ourselves and not just for clients. And we're enjoying that a lot. So, and then what else did we have?
I love that you have that paper rating, man. That's just
It's in my drawer.
It's in your drawer.
He's just going there like, what would be really funny on stream today?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I think about.
It's so cool though. Like just a couple of things, even adding a little like grayscale color. I feel like we're already starting to see this come to life, and
yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I like to like I said, I just like build up layers and layers and layers and layers. At first, it ends up looking like duty, but like I said, just keep going and going and going and refining. Yeah, and just like this faux shading, like knowing like I'm not going to keep this thing solid all the way through. I'm going to taper it out to make it look like, it's there's a shadow underneath it and stuff like that. But yeah, little stuff like that. Okay, cool. Oh, the whistle. Let's do that. Yeah. So yeah, it's all about kind of in my head when I'm building these things out, I kind of plan out like what I'm doing. Kind of like, okay, what's the best way? Should I start off with this layer first, that layer first? And there's a lot of layering, like for this hair, like I had to kind of create this back piece and this front piece. So kind of like when looking at your reference or whatever, or if you have the reference in your head, kind of figuring out, okay, how am I going to make this hair look like this? So a lot of like layering and stuff. And like with this as well, I'm going to have to combine these two shapes. I think I might have played myself, but I'll just union them. Oh, no, I union these two. There you go. Boom. Whistle.
Oh, that just blew my mind. Nice.
Baby. Yeah, I got to fix up little stuff like this. This is a no-go. I would never let that slide. There we go. Cool. Yeah, and then I can start by adding in more lines to make it look more 3D. And I just connect the points that are opposite of each other. And there we go. We have a whistle. I'm just going to group that, hide that down here, make it a little bit bigger. And yeah, I'll really make it pop with the gradients and the shadows.
Nice.
Yeah, so yeah.
Peter, do you want to do early bird?
Yeah,
spot?
I was gonna say, Moss, do you want to take that one, or do you want me to? I was messaging you guys about that.
Oh, I'll just take it away, man. Just do it.
Just do it.
Wait, are you saying Peter takes it away?
No, Moss, take it away.
Okay, Moss, take it away.
If you would like a spot on the early bird list, I've seen a lot of people asking about this. Engagement is key. Like tweeting at us, helping out fellow server members, posting memes. We just really want to enhance the community and reward people for that. But also tuning into our live streams, because we oftentimes drop a code word that you can message myself, and then I will get you on the early bird list. And Peter, what was that code word?
We had a couple. Let's do
Coach Beard. Let's go. Let's do
Coach
Coach
Beard.
Beard.
Yes, you
He's
can
a
find
character
me.
from Ted Lasso. So yeah.
Yeah, so you can find me listed under the admins on the Discord, and just shoot me a DM with that code word, and I will get you on the early bird list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's only works for the stream. So if you're watching later, sorry. Next time. But yeah, for everybody who's listening right now, Coach Beard, DM Moss, or me, and we're gonna get you in.
Yeah, and what that means. So
I'm
if
Dave or Moss, right? And the early bird spot basically means that we're gonna give you a priority list or priority access to the minting. We're not giving out minting tokens through that, but we do give out those through maybe some giveaways or contests. But for early birds, you essentially get a whitelist, and once we're gonna have like a mint date ready for you in January. We're gonna everybody's talking about spelling. All right. Doesn't really matter. Just message us, basically. There you go, Coach Beard.
What does that even mean?
What does that mean? Yeah, Coach Beard is the spelling, and yeah, you essentially will probably give you access to minting side a few hours prior, and you'll be able to go in and get your secure Dronie.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, if
whether
you
it's
don't
going
get
to
on
be
the early
through
bird
Candy
list, then
Machine.
yeah, you got to hope that you get it in before it sells out, or if we
Right.
do a fair launch and there are more people that want it than is available, then it goes into a lottery system, and it's kind of like a raffle. So yeah, definitely an advantage to being on that early bird list.
Yeah. Karim is asking, where do you see the NFT space heading in the next year or two?
Honestly, I mean, heck, we don't know where it's going to be in like 2 months. There's so much stuff happening, and part of what drew us to Solana as well was the ecosystem and the amount of people building for the space and working on really cool things and putting things out there for the community. So honestly, a lot of this is somewhat wait and see. I think we're going to see more things bridge both the digital and the physical space. You're starting to see big companies like like Adidas is doing some stuff, or Nike's doing some stuff where it's bridging, having physical shoes and showcasing the ownership of that, and it's being transferred through the NFTs. Gary Vee does stuff where it's like you gain access to the conferences and events, and there's a lot of cool ways that NFTs can have that utility. And yeah, I think we're just going to see more creative solutions and ideas and whatnot, but having something that shows that verifiable proof of ownership that can unlock access to programs, events, spaces, etc. It's really interesting, and folks are just getting more and more excited about it. So I think as it becomes more mainstream, it very much does feel like, kind of where crypto began several years ago. It feels like we're in that same kind of space and early boom in that same regard. So it's really exciting, and we're pumped for it. We've been into crypto for many years, and we love this stuff. So it's a fun space for us to get to work in. And then, walk us through what you're doing here. It looks like you're grabbing maybe some hair and stuff.
Perfect. Yeah. So like I said, make my life a lot easier. So kind of, and following like, all right, we already have kind of this brown that we use already for hair. So let's kind of grab that. I grabbed that from, I'm sure we posted this on Twitter, right? So I can show it, right? Yeah. I destroyed it. Kind of took the stuff that I needed. This Dan Petty honorary. So I'm kind of grabbing the color styles from this and transferring it on over to this, this Ted Lasso. That way, A, I know the color, and B, I save a little bit of time. So I'm doing Control-Alt-C to copy and paste the styles. Obviously, I'm gonna, move them around a bit. So kind of just starting on coloring things, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, using, like I said, I like to use a lot of stuff that we already have. If it works, if it works, if it fits, then I'm going to do it. If not, then I'll obviously make something custom, but yeah.
Yeah, and I saw somebody had asked, is there going to be a stream tomorrow? Yes, we're going to have Bo back. It's going to be a longer stream tomorrow, and it's going to be a little bit more chill. We might come in and do a little question and answer early on, but Bo's just going to kind of get in the zone tomorrow, and we'll play a little music in the background, which I actually meant to do today. And it's just going to be more of a silent stream, and you can just kind of tune in and watch him work, and we might do some like intermissions and, early bird stuff throughout. But we'll probably run that for a little bit longer. And he's going to be working on a Master Chief Dronie, so very detailed. And he wants to get a little bit more in the zone and not multitask as much. So we're going to let him focus, but we'll follow along and see what he's up to. And we'll be in here answering some questions too.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That's gonna be so sick. Yeah, so I guess as you can see, I kind of use like this intersect to kind of get that that highlight on the front of the hair there. So kind of using the pre-existing shape to be able to get that going there. Just realized I gotta change that stroke. So yeah, the stroke, I guess one of the rules that we came up with is the stroke is just a darker color of the fill. So like, for example, like this hair is brown, so the stroke will be a very, very, very dark brown. And what I think I might do is I might just make this, okay, yeah.
Give him a little fade.
Gotta think, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, and we'll see too, because like the blue color of his body might not work, depending with like the blue jacket and things like that too.
Yeah.
So, again, we just got to trial and error and mess around and see, what we want to do.
Yeah. So yeah, starting the color process, kind of just going at it, and like I said, I'll keep kind of going back and forth, trying to figure out the best way to go about doing all of these things. So I don't know if you guys could tell, like in Dronies land, the light source is top right. So everything we do is based on that fact. So typically, the top of the hair here is going to be a lot brighter, and then the back goes a little bit darker where the light fades out. And yeah, so kind of giving that effect here on this little back tuft of hair by giving it a linear gradient, kind of going from light to dark. So yeah, kind of gives that effect. Probably going to add a little bit more like
Detail in
those
there.
things there. Yeah, a little detail in the hair. Maybe a bit later, because right now
I'm bored.
I'm bored. No, I feel like that helps me, like, because like if I kind of like get stuck, you know, like, all right, oh my gosh, how am I gonna do this hair? There's so much detail. Oh great, I gotta do this. All right, just move on to something else real quick. Get your mind off of it, and that's what really helps me kind of move fast. Is like, and I mean, it's not for everyone, you know. But that's just, like I said, just the way I noticed that I like to do things. Because if not, I'm just going to be like sitting there staring at that hair for like 20 minutes and nothing's going to get done. So let me just work on something that I know I can get done. Like this little just robot ear thing. So another thing, if you noticed, when we do like more human-based characters with ears, we kind of do like these little speaker microphone things as if like that's like their hearing device or something. So I just thought that'd be funny. So yeah, adding some linear gradients here to kind of give this little fake 3D look, make it look like it's more cylindrical. Yeah, I know. Does that sound bad? I'm bored. I kind of like just realized that, like, oh, I'm bored.
No. It's just like your brain kind of shifts into, okay, like I can't problem solve this thing anymore. Like, and you move on to the next thing and come back. And, you know, it's okay. There's some people that the way that they work is that, you know, it's very much got to be, I finish one thing at a time. And until I finish that thing, I can't move on to the next. And then there's folks where it's like, hey, let me just get, you know, this thing a little bit further. And then you hit that point of being stuck. And from a creativity standpoint, sometimes just moving on to something else lets your brain kind of solve that problem in the background. And then you come back and you're like, oh, I know what to do here now. And, you know, so bouncing around can be a good thing.
Yeah, there you go. What Peter said. Oh, no stroke on that. Fill. Let's do that inner shadow. So yeah, like I said, right here, I'm kind of using inner shadows and drop shadows to kind of give like this 3D effect. Drop shadow would probably go 0.5 to kind of give like that. Oh no. Okay, there you go. What was I doing? Oh yeah, drop shadow. Yeah, kind of give like that rim lighting effect. I might just yoink that all together, to be honest. That maybe drop the opacity a little bit to make it look faded out. Boom. And there's some speaker grills right there. Might mess with that a little bit more. Maybe the darken, normal. I liked overlay. We'll stick with overlay for now. Yeah. And then this is a little bit dark.
And while we're doing that, I think a couple other questions. So someone was asking, what is the mint price going to be? So there's two routes that we can go there. Original plan is to do what's called a fair launch protocol, where actually you as the community get to decide. And so we'll set a range, and the community is able to then go and pick and say, here's what we think it is. And whatever the median price is that the community decides on, that's the price that it will then get minted at. And some of that will be in flux. And part of that is it's hard to say, let's just theoretically say today we said the mint price is 1. That might change if in a month Solana is now worth $500 per token. You know, we might then change that to half or whatever. So there's things along those lines that, you know, we're kind of paying attention to and we'll keep an eye on. Being that we're also delaying due to the botting issues and exploits right now, with people being able to actually see which mints are which, and it's allowing people to actually target and grab the best items in the collection, which means none of you would have a fair shot at this one, and somebody or a group of people out there would be able to specifically target this one and more or less guarantee that they get it. we're avoiding the Candy Machine. I mean, it's still being used in the fair launch on the back end, but until Candy Machine 2.0 comes out, or Candy Machine is going to be more of your standard, like I click the mint button and I can grab as many as I want. That's a possibility too, and we might do that pending the changes to Candy Machine 2.0. So again, we're working with Solana and seeing what Jordan or Redacted J is working on with that, and we'll make a decision as we get a little bit closer if we're going to change path based on what's best for the project and the community. So we'll keep you posted on that. And someone's saying that the fact that these are illustrations, not 3D models, blew my mind. It's really cool what the team is capable of. I'm not an illustrator, so I get to geek out along with everybody else on what is being done and how good everything looks. And I mean, really and truly, everyone's only seen about 1 or 2% of things so far. I know we shared a good bit on our first live stream, but there's still so much more that we are waiting to share. And we want the collection to come out and you guys to go, I didn't even know that was there. That's so cool. So we're really excited for everybody to see what is in store, to find some of the breadcrumbs and have fun with things. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, like talking about the illustration style, because we're the ones who set the illustration style.
And that took a long time.
It did. And it kind of just kept evolving, and then we finally got to the final style. We're like, yeah, cool. And we're like, okay, wow, this is like, this ain't.
I'd say it took more than 2 months. I think
that's true. We 2 months kind of decided the direction.
September, right?
Yeah.
It took like 2 months to figure out the direction, because we've been playing around with so many different, not just styles, like different ways. Is it 3D Dronie? Is it 2D but profile in front? Like, is it full body Dronie or is it not? And if you look at our first stream, like you can see like this sort of evolution that we went through by figure out, is it super cartoon Dronie? Is it super detailed? Like, there's been so many things that we've kind of had to not just play around, but like make decisions on daily. And after that, and then there's the style that is more or less like stylistic choice of shading, colors that we've kept like tweaking for months. I'd say it's not just, it hasn't been like, we're still tweaking to this day. Sometimes we find something that's like a little bit off and we have to tweak it. Like recently, just yesterday, we found like a shadow that's not up to our standards and we had to like tweak that. It's definitely very ongoing progress all the time. So
yeah, I mean, we've got a team of people right now I was just looking in Slack and they're adding stuff to, we've got a DNP channel, a super legit channel, and super legit we put all the like, holy cow, I can't believe this combination happened, this looks so good. And then we've got our DNP channel where we're identifying everything that doesn't work, and that allows us to make modifications to everything, whether we set it as do not ever pair these items together, or it means we have to make adjustments to the layers and the character traits of different items. We're just continuing to dial this in and make sure that everything is perfect, or as close to perfect as we can get. So really, really fun. And let's see. Okay, that covers 2 of them. Yeah, somebody asked is there a way to guarantee a minting spot? And as we talked about before, that's going to be through early bird. That'll give you the best opportunity to get in there prior. And you'll have, again, depending on how stuff might change with Candy Machine, the exact mechanics of this might be a little bit different. Whether if it's a fair launch, it guarantees you one. If it goes into a lottery raffle, you're guaranteed a spot. If it is a standard mint and it's just click the button and mint your Dronie, you'll have a window of time prior where you'll be able to get that before it is available to the general public. And as long as you mint through that same wallet address that you gave us, it'll guarantee you access to that. So definitely an advantage, definitely a reason to engage with us and be part of the community and get on there. So as I say that, the code word for today's stream is Coach Beard. the right-hand man to Ted Lasso. So send Moss, the community manager, a DM in Discord with that, and we'll get you added to the list. And thanks for tuning in today.
So like a radio show or something like that, because you always gotta like repeat it for the people that are joining in. Like, by the way, today is the thing. Everyone who's just joining, right now we're doing a Ted Lasso Dronie 1-of-1 illustration. Right now, I'm working on coloring and adding the shadows and stuff like that. Yeah, so I kind of added like these mustache lines, but I kind of gave them a little highlight, make them look. They're very perfect. It kind of makes it look more robotic, like it's some kind of. Now that I think about it, I might even make it look 3D. Yeah, make it look like this kind of like just hunk of metal stuck to his face or something like that, because these are robot birds. So
giving it some depth there.
Yeah, maybe making it look like some like I said, like a metal chunk or something. Yeah, so just going with the flow, doing what I do, adding some gradients. And there's a lot of pressure. This is a lot of pressure.
How do we determine which drones to make? Do we have already all the 10,000 determined? Ross is asking. And the way the generation works is that we have 12 traits with around 206. We might be adding more traits, or I guess variations in those traits. So we have 206 total of like different things that might be picked up for those 12 traits. Each time we run the generation script, it outpicks random things for each new Dronie. There's nothing that we sort of determine in that except the one-of-ones that you're seeing right now, which is going to be part of the collection, and honoraries that we create, which is going to be completely separate collection. But yeah, each time we generate a Dronie, so while the script goes through each one, it basically checks for what has been created already. So we check for duplications. We ignore sort of like the background. So background is not considered even part of the duplication check, but the actual Dronie is. So we determine that every single Dronie is unique. There's no duplicates of any kind. So yeah. And the question is, how many unique Dronies in the collection? So we're currently are about 50 of one-of-ones just for this collection.
I think actually, because Vic showed us the file, there's probably like 15 new ones. So we're probably getting closer to 75.
I don't even know how much.
Dang.
Yeah. I know we set the goal of 100, and then we're like, there's no way we're going to get 100 done in time. And we're crushing it. So, yeah, it'll probably be somewhere between 9,900 to, call it, let's go on the low end, 9,950 will be generative, meaning that they're completely randomized with their traits. And then, I'd say probably 9,900 is a good gauge, because even between some of the customs like we're making here, we might go in and specifically assign a couple of them to be a certain combination that we really like or something like that, and have them be special and unique in that way. But yeah, it's really fun to see the algorithm and what comes up. And like we're already doing tests right now and generating 10,000, and then we kind of divvy it up. Every person takes 500 and we scan through them and look for those issues. And it's really cool seeing what gets put together and what the output is like. So we're really excited for y'all to see that.
Yeah, and people are asking if 10K supply is too high, like are we considering cutting it? Absolutely. We will be. 10K is aimed for us personally to have a unique collection, and it has like every single time you look at every single Dronie, it feels unique. It feels good to have it, and that's our aim. Obviously, if we're gonna have whatever it is, a smaller community, which we don't hope for, we hope for a bigger community, and not quantity wise but quality wise, and we're hoping to determine that actual supply closer to launch date in January. If we need to, we will delay it. Whatever it is that we need to do, we will do to make sure that collection is secured, that you guys are satisfied, and that we can make this happen. So
Yeah.
If it's gonna be 999 or something else, we'll let you know.
Yeah. And I saw It's Me Sway said, this is my first ever NFT project. Both excited and nervous. Will you be making a tutorial on how to mint for newbies? So yes, we're actually going to do a live stream sometime next week with Austin over at Solana. And we're going to walk through a lot of that stuff, go over some of the basics, help you understand how this works. We'll talk about things like wallet security. I know we've talked about this a little bit on streams, and we'll probably do another one that is even more dedicated to just that. Things like using a burner wallet, which means having, if you go into Phantom, which is what we use personally, you can add more wallet addresses to your Phantom account. And what you want to do is you want to create a wallet. You can call it like Mint Burner or Burner Mint, whatever. And that's a wallet address that you only use to mint projects. And so you put just enough money in. So let's just say this collection's 1. You might put 1.1 Solana in there. And the reason for that, and granted, we're not going to do this, obviously, but there have been, I've heard maybe 4 or 5 projects where they've been absolute rugs, and there's even ones that can actually, I haven't personally seen one, so I don't know if it's just people are rapid clicking and they miss something, or if there's something more nefarious at play, but they'll actually remove all of the Solana and NFTs from your account and can completely drain it. So it's a good security practice, no matter what project that you are minting, that you have a separate account that if they stole it, they're only going to get that, 1.1 Solana versus whatever might be in your account. So it's a really good idea to do that. It's also really good to have a ledger or a hardware wallet attached to your main account. That way, again, people can't move your funds or your NFTs without that physical device. And again, we'll talk about all that stuff. So we've been doing this for we've been in the crypto space for a very long time. The majority of our team, it still is kind of tough and confusing at times, and we recognize that, and we want to help educate people and try to help you avoid making mistakes. Or there's a lot of scams. Like, please stay away from DMs that you might get in servers. And typically speaking, we recommend you turn your DMs off for the most part. That way people can't send you links or things like that. So be very, very cautious. If you are even speaking with us, you should double check that our Discord handle is the same thing that is in the admin panel, because people are going to eventually start impersonating us and making it look as though we're the ones trying to communicate with you, and we're not. So be very, very cautious. Stay vigilant on that kind of stuff. We've tried to do everything that we can to secure the community. We probably purchased, 50 plus domain names for this project and the series, so that way people can't use like droniesnft.org or .net. Like, we have all that stuff. So hopefully that will help diminish the amount of people that can try to dupe what this project is and, take advantage of people. So, yeah. Will Dronies be implemented based on DAO or not? Yeah, so we're going to have our community, whether you call it a DAO or whatnot. Some of that is a little buzzwordy, but we are going to have everybody involved in the decisions that we make. We've talked about, again, some cool ideas where some kind of like member benefits might be, and again, I'm going to asterisk the might be we've talked about having like a community wallet where maybe we want to invest back into our community. And so we might want to hear ideas of NFT projects that this community would want to work on. And maybe it's something that we partner with those individuals to help launch. Maybe it's something that we invest in them as a community to help put that project forward and help allow them that opportunity. Maybe if you're an artist and you need 3 months to focus on this project in order to launch it, that we could fund that person almost like a residency to allow them that opportunity to take time off from work or whatnot and maybe have that project and that dream come alive. So there's a lot of cool things that we're working on in that regard too. And yeah. And sorry, we're just catching up on all the different chats and make sure we're joining on this. So Ross was asking, how did we decide on the concept for Dronies? I think a lot of it was just that it's a fun idea. It's a perfect blend of conspiracy and possibility, and it's the right levels of all the things, and it just opened up a really big story arc for us. And so Iker, who you see here in the chat, he's a big comic book guy, and very much went down the rabbit hole of along with one of our teammates, Evan, to craft this story and to build out a full universe. And it's been really fun to see that come alive and evolve. And we even had to pare it back because there was just simply too much to kind of absorb, especially in terms of like, how do we communicate this through a Twitter campaign or through a Discord story, and not have it be something that you felt like you had to read a 600-page book to get caught up in. But it was just something that we thought we could really turn into a much larger project. Again, and we keep stressing this. This isn't just here's your collection and the only thing we have to talk about is floor prices or, some of the royalty utilities or things like that. We wanted this to be something that is going to continue on, that there are going to be reasons and advantages to continuing to hold a Dronie, and whether that be through future collections or series or whatnot. But there's a lot of opportunity, and again, we're just unlocking the beginning of this storyline when this project drops, and then it'll get into, all the kind of the next part of that saga, I guess you could say. Okay, I'm glad somebody asked this. So he also asked, you guys seem to have some extensive experience. I love that you guys are transparent. Is it true that we have worked with Disney? So let me start off with the Disney thing. No, that was an incorrect fact. That was not done maliciously or whatnot. We hit up JPEG Lord after that and let him know we have not. We did have a team member who did some freelance work on Star Wars stuff for some websites for Disney. And I think he might have seen that and assumed that the whole team was a part of that. We have not worked with Disney yet, although we would love to. But, we have worked with a lot of great clients, both in the Web3 space and abroad. We work with Figma, Adobe, Merck, Samsung, Solana. We worked with Facebook on Nemi and Dovi. Now it's I always mix it up. Libra and Calibra. Now it's Novi and DM.
Or DM, yes.
DM, and then, Future Swap Trust Token. We worked with Ripple for several years. Eddie did the branding of the XRP token. So, we are a real team. We do some really awesome work, and we're experienced in this stuff. So we take the design of this very seriously. We want to be organized and structured with this. Again, we're putting our reputation on the line with this project. So we have to deliver quality and be awesome with this stuff. Otherwise, we're in big trouble. So, you're going to get us, and we've got our stuff together. Oh, and then in that video too, we're also not headquartered in LA. We're headquartered in Florida and Colorado, and we do have team members in California. But that was another item that they got incorrect.
Oh man,
that was kind of funny. We're like, those are the two big things that got mentioned, and we posted on the Twitter thread and on the video like, hey, fact checks. But I know that wasn't meant to deceive anybody, but yeah.
Funny LA.
Yeah, and then Suma is asking, can we talk about our expectations from this project and the community? So let's start maybe on the community side. I mean, obviously going into the launch and whatnot, as we've talked about, what we're hoping and looking for is engagement. And obviously if y'all are excited about the project because of the story, the team behind it, the artwork quality, some of the things that we're talking about working with the community to build, the biggest and best thing that everybody could do is help share the project and talk about it, and do it in a natural way. We're staying away from the let's be shilly and tag 2 friends, post, retweet, like, and follow these 7 accounts, and then maybe you've got a shot at it kind of thing. We want this to be organic. We want it to be real. And it's cool to see that that's what's happening, and that's what's building, and that's what a lot of people really like. But we know that a lot of the success of this project can't just be reliant on the work that we've done or whatnot, but it is engaging and getting the community excited and having everybody share it. So that might be one of the best things that you can do is help gain more audience and eyes on this project. And we've seen, even just through a couple of key higher profile accounts, and actually some that were much lower profile, that led to some really interesting connections with certain individuals and whatnot, that really helped take this account or take our project and get it in front of people. A lot of people saw the video from Noah. I think Nate Roth tweeted about the project the other day. And so, those have big impacts. So if you want, try to get some of the attention to some of those people and let them know about the project. And we're happy to chat. Dave Moss and I spent a good portion of our day talking to people, letting them know what it is we're building and why we think it's special. And, it's allowing us to create some partnerships with some other projects and other blue chips out there, and meet some really cool and interesting people in the space. So, yeah. Let's see. And Jeepney is asking, this Dronie is turning out to be so dope. Will this be available in Mint? And yes, that's why we're creating these. So this will be available along with many other custom Dronies that are not randomly generated, but that we have created specifically to bring some of our favorite things to life and have them in the collection. And I think if you check out our very first stream video, we tease a couple others, which, let me swing over to mine. And is it in this document? Yeah. I'll swing over here in just a sec while we're working on that. And then, sorry, my wife is looking for something, and I'm 99% sure I don't have it. No, I don't. Just before she gets mad that she's looked around everywhere for it, it's not my fault. Cool. So let me swing over to my screen for a quick second. And so again, this is all stuff that we talked about on the first stream, but just to showcase like some of the early stylescapes that we were putting together, and like the vibe that we wanted, looking at, different concepts and ideas around logo directions. And I can tease that there's a lot more logos that you're going to see within the future of this universe. And so we took a lot of inspiration. I think Star Wars was a great one where, there's the Rebel Alliance, there's the Imperial, or the Empire, there's all these different things, but they all feel very cohesive. And that was something that we wanted to work towards and have continuity through those things. Also playing around, you'll notice like some different head types that we were experimenting with beforehand. And one of the things that we found incredibly challenging with that particular approach was that the different head types meant that we have to have like sunglasses. We'd have to design like these same Solana shades, but have different ones for each head type so that it fit right. And so what we ended up focusing on more as we were honing that in was building I don't know if we actually, it's over here. Having it be a consistent head type that allowed us through just changing, where is it? More in here, where we can just change the beak or some other attributes and assets that then allowed it to feel like a different and unique bird type without having so many complications of DNPs and whatnot. That would have been a nightmare and huge hassle that I don't even know, looking back, how we would have figured that out. You can see some other kind of early concepts. This was actually one of the earliest ones that we built out. Again, playing around with things like line thickness and shading, See some of our more static little matrix Dronie. Some early sketches of some other concepts again here. What else? And then let's see, just to showcase, these are some that I think some things have changed, but some early generation tests and what those might look like. And then just to show some of the custom sneak peeks that we've got. Again, you saw the original, so just to bring that over, because it's kind of cool to see it. I don't know if this is the right one, but this is one of them. Come on, where are you? So just seeing that early sketch and then seeing that style get refined a little bit more. And again, it almost has that like 3D look and feel to it. But just really cool to see this. We've got, some other characters that you might recognize here within the collection. And then I'm just going to do a little tease that, it might be a little bit of a series. So some cool things being done there as well. And again, just having a lot of fun with this and really enjoying
It's crazy to look at it side
process.
by side. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So we can see, we've got like a Marty McFly, Bob Ross. Or no, I am so blanking. But just a lot of fun stuff in that regard, doing some stuff for some people that, in the design community and NFT space. So we've got Dan Petty. We've got one for Mark Hemion. We talked about this a little on the stream yesterday as well. And a bunch others for folks that you're going to start to see rolling out as well. And again, ways that you can help and spread awareness and whatnot. Like, let us know who you think we should do an honorary for, and maybe tag that person and get us in touch with them, and we'll find some things that they really like or embody them, and connect with some more people in the space. So, a lot of fun. Let me swing back over here to Vic. So Vic, kind of walk us through what you're building out here now.
Oh yeah, so yeah, kind of working on the hair detail a little bit here, kind of giving it a little bit more depth. Adding some shadows on the back of some of these strands to kind of give them like more of a fuller look. So just kind of messing around with adding in like depth to some things, so so that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Trying to make this look good. Sorry, I'll start looking at the YouTube comments.
Yeah, and I know
see that this.
And again, I know we've been going for a while here. I think we're coming up on an hour and a half. So, again, this is probably going to be something that we'll finish up a little bit more off stream. And it is very mentally taxing to be on stream, especially if you were on stream and illustrating and whatnot. So we don't want to, tap Vic out here and let him get into his day a little bit more as well. But we'll hang out for a few more minutes. We'll do maybe another early bird as we get closer to the end. But thank you guys for joining us today. It's fun to get to hang out with you, answer all these questions. And I think we were talking about doing some more streams next week, and so we might do another post of ideas where give us some recommendations and see what you'd like to see in the collection. And we may do some more mint giveaways for the ones that get selected as well.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm probably not going to finish this on stream. There's a lot.
It's a lot to do, man.
A lot.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
There's a lot of detail. Like sketching, like it's funny because Eddie sketches these in 15 minutes on stream and probably like around 7 minutes just by sitting around doing whatever. While we're talking with him on the meeting, he already has everything done that we have. And it's so much more work to get the illustration done because you have to work with depth and lighting and detailing and pixel perfecting out the lines. It's a lot of work. It takes a while.
Yeah,
and it's constant tweaking. Yeah,
especially with like something like this, like there's a lot of like, especially with the hair, it's like really organic, so there's a lot of like stuff that you got to play around with there. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so working on this whistle. Maybe I'll at least get the whistle done for you guys.
It's funny. I think this is what we started with.
Yeah, no, I'm really liking the way this thing is turning out, though. It's pretty cool. I haven't done much dronies with human dronies, like on our list that we have. I kind of steer clear away from those.
You've been leaving those ones for Bo.
Yeah, I've been leaving those ones for Bo. He's really good at the more realistic looking human ones. So yeah, I tend to stick with the ones that that I like to do. So no, but this is good though, because it's a little bit of a challenge for me. And you guys get to watch me suffer on stream. I'm just kidding. I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. This is seriously like one of the funnest projects that I have ever been a part of. And I'm not just saying that because we're on a promotional Dronie stream right now.
What's fun too is, we can do a lot of interesting things here where, again, as we work live, although I think mine just got out of sync, my Figma.
Yeah, you're gonna have to probably let it
there it goes.
Catch up real quick.
Sorry, you're gonna have something like cover the whole screen in a second. Get that out of your way. But what's really cool is now, we can come in and add some of the items, like if we want to inject some logos in here, whether it's like on the side or on the whistle or whatnot. Just being able to do some of that stuff is really fun and interesting. And again, just creating some breadcrumbs.
Helping me out, dude. Wow, very cool. Very cool, Peter. Interesting.
All right. Well, I know some folks are going to have to get jumping out, and I know we're going to wrap up here in a minute. So this is your last opportunity. We'll keep it open for about 5 minutes after the stream. After 5 minutes, I'm sorry, it's cut off. There'll be other opportunities to get on that early bird list, but you've got one more shot today. If you're tuning in, shoot Moss, our community manager, at the top of Discord, a DM with the words Coach Beard, and we'll get you added to that early bird list. So thanks for tuning in today and join us on stream. And we'll do another progress update here in a day or two as Vic wraps this one up and show you all what that final process and final result looks like. So yeah, a lot of fun. Thanks for walking us through this today, Vic.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. I hope that you guys are enjoying this or have been enjoying it. Because it's a lot harder than it looks to, to do all of this all at once. Stream, talk, do quality work. I got to keep that in mind. I can't make this look like duty. So yeah, I'm going to work on a little bit on this tracksuit here, a little bit. That way.
Yeah, that's one of those big recognizable things that again, when you almost like characterize people or characters, like you have to give those elements that make them really recognizable. And in this case, it might be the hair, it might be the mustache, the articles of clothing are really going to make it distinguishable. So having fun with that kind of stuff and figuring out the right way to do it is super, super important.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the main thing. And Eddie's the one who sketched these, so we're trying to, especially these ones we're trying to find like distinguishable features, because how the heck do you make Ted Lasso into a bird? Well, ask Ed, and you shall receive. And this is how you make Ted Lasso into a bird. So yeah, you got to find like these like super standout recognizable traits. I'm just adding these tracksuit lines, and like I said, like a lot of if you guys are like a lot of like making this thing look good is like, for example, like, all right, so we have these tracksuit lines. We know that the light is coming from the top right. We know that this arm is in front of it. There's a shadow being casted by the arm. And so we kind of want to make this part of the tracksuit a little bit darker to make it look like it's fading out underneath the arm. So yeah, gradients is really what, what is making this project here. And then check this out, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this whistle. I'm gonna turn it into a union. That has a weird fill right now. Let me make it 100% opacity. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move it. 1, 2, boom, 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 maybe boom, 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 put it behind, make it black, change the opacity, boom, there you go. We have the shadow of the whistle. Done, easy as that.
Boom.
So yeah, maybe add a little bit of gradient to make it look like the shadow's softening out. And in this case, I'm just gonna cheat and match this up. Yeah, boom, there you go. Now just gives it just a little bit more depth. Just a little bit more depth, and it makes it look a little bit more cooler. So looks like this tracksuit. Control C, control. Oh, geez. Control V. Yeah, like I said, I hope you guys are enjoying this process, and you guys get to see a little bit of the work behind the Dronies. See what it takes to make one of these.
What's
looks like that.
literally just adding that detail alone here. And again, I know it's not refined, it's not done yet, but those little details, like you really start to see the character as soon as. And what'd you do? You added 3 rectangles that are red and blue.
Yeah, literally.
That's literally all it was. But that's what starts, bringing everything to life and whatnot. So yeah, just really, really neat. Well, cool. I know we're going a little bit longer. So with that, why don't we start signing off? And again, thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate you being excited about this project, being a part of the community. And we'll be back tomorrow. Again, tomorrow's going to be much more low key. We're just going to throw some music on, let Bo hop in. And I don't know. I know I've got a couple of meetings. Dave, you might be in or out on voice chat. But at the very least, we'll be in chat and trying to answer some questions and go over things with folks and just watch Bo work and see his style and what he's up to and something just turn on in the background. So we'll be back. We'll be doing some more fun things on Twitter this week. I know if you're tuning in and watching this afterwards, I know for some people, 9 to 5 EST can be a little tricky to tune into. So I know Dave and I were chatting about doing maybe some after hours Twitter spaces or some other live streams, and we'll just chat through and engage with folks and make sure everybody can tune in and have some opportunities to chat with us live. So stay tuned for that. Keep an eye on Twitter. And yeah, thanks for tuning in today, everybody, and have a good one. And we'll chat more soon.
It's been fun, guys. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks for doing this, Vic. It was really awesome to get to see you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Everybody have a good day.
Bye.
We'll talk with you later. Bye.